Okay, okay, now we're good. I don't know why that happened. For some reason, my microphone was not picking up that it was, the microphone that's plugged in. Okay, uh, what more is there to say other than it's time. It is time to rank all the floating platforms in the Fungal Wastes. I will put on some relaxing Hollow Knight music ambiance in the background. It's a little bit loud. So we'll just listen to this as we go through this. Alright. Um, this is just the card, by the way. In case you were wondering, this is just the screen. And this thing is massive. Like, holy heck, it's huge. Like, look at this. This right here, if you can see my little thing, this right here is the whole thing. This is the whole box. Let me move it out of the way a little bit. There. This whole thing is the giant fungal wastes. It is gigantic. So, I guess we'll just work our way through it for really no. Actually, maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller, just a little bit. There we go. Maybe this much, maybe a little bit more. Okay, I think this will be good. But yeah, we are currently looking at the whole thing. It might get a little bit blurry every now and then. That's probably just because it's loading, so don't worry. But we might as well, I guess, start. And what better place is there to start than the top? So again, let me specify the rules of this platform ranking. It has to be an individual platform that you can walk on, or surface. This right here does not count as an oops, wrong color. This right here does not count as one because there's multiple walkable surfaces. So this is not going to be one. The other thing is that it cannot be connected to anything else. It has to be its own isolated individual platform. So something like this part would not be a platform because it's connected to the wall or the ground. Something like this one right here, this is good. That counts as a platform. That being said, it is now time to rank. So, let's go into it. Obviously, this is where you come in, I guess, usually. This is like the main entrance. And immediately upon walking in, you'll be greeted with these guys. And, a bunch of other things. So, I think for the first platform that you might see is probably either this one here or that one there. It's probably one of these two things. So, I think both of these should get a 7. Just because, this is a new area, it tells you, it tells you, hey, welcome to the area. Would you like to see the platforms that we have around here? And then, I think this one will probably get a 6, just because, I'm not gonna lie, it feels just kind of in the way, in my opinion. But it is required to get from here to here, back up there, if you want to take that route. This platform right to the left, though, immediately to the left, I actually want to give this one, right here, I kind of want to give this one a 6.5. The main reason is because it has this new enemy, and this enemy functions very similar to like the crawlids that you might see in the game, but he's a mushroom boy now, and he just kind of goes back and forth on this platform. They're pretty nice, I like those. So, likewise, so on and so forth. Also, take it with a grain of salt. I'm trying to look at this from a both, speedrunning standpoint as well as a casual standpoint. So, if a certain platform has good speedrunning, like, oh, you use this platform for a certain thing, or you use this platform for, I guess just good movement options, it might score higher. Which is why this one right here, it's just kind of there. I'm going to give this one a 5, just because it's, the only purpose is so that you can go here to here, but once you get there, there's really nowhere else to go. You kind of have to go backwards. So actually, I'm not even going to go to 5, I'm going to give it a 4. And so this is how it's going to continue going on. Let's see, how many platform rankings have I made so far? I think I've done like 5 so far? 5 areas? I think this one might be the 5th. Anyways, all of these platforms, in my personal opinion, these can be really good. I think this one right here, like almost right in the middle of the screen, I want to give that one a 6.5. And the main reason is because this platform is also a very good indication for speedrunning. Because when you first speedrun, you drop from here and you go straight down. And then you will encounter this platform. Usually, you don't have the Mantis Claw yet. And so you can just kind of hug the wall right here and then dash this way. But there are times where you might forget or your spacing is a little bit off and you will land on the platform instead. It can get a little bit annoying, but it's nice because it tells you, okay, there's a pool of acid right below me and I need to dash. So it's a nice marker. I think most of these platforms will probably just get a 5. Not necessarily because they're bad placements or they're, you know, inconvenient. But 5, I think, should be the pure median. It should be like the right in the middle. It's not bad, it's not good. It's just kind of there for platforming's sake. So there's really no other purpose other than I need to get from point A to point B, and this platform allows me to do so. So that's kind of what happens when I give something a 5. Most of these ones, likewise, they're just there to, you know, continue on, get to the next area. This platform right here, both is required, but also I hate. I'm going to give this one a 4.5, and the main reason is simply because once you fall down this area using speedrunning route, you have to basically hit this part. There's really no good way to avoid this one, and you will end up just hitting it. It can get very annoying, especially... It just can get a little bit annoying. I don't like it that much. And obviously, to the right is Leg Eater. There are no platforms there, so we can just move on. In the intended route, you will continue going downwards, and you will encounter these platforms. This one's a 5, as usual. This one, however... This one, it doesn't really have a point. I don't know why they put it there. This is going to be a 1. Because, think about it this way, right? Most likely, you're coming from this direction. That's where you're coming from. And this is where you're going. For what purpose would you ever have to continue towards the acid just to go back? There's really no purpose. So I feel like this platform in of itself is just kind of not good. They could have just removed it and nothing really would have changed. So I think that kind of deserves a 1. It really is not good. Kind of similar for this one. Right here. This little platform right here. It's just kind of there. The only purpose why you would ever go down here is because if you didn't know where you're going, and then you go here first, before realizing you had to get over there. So instead of going there, you go back up here to go there. Or you dash across. But there's really no other point in, you know, this platform either. So I think, yes, there is a slight benefit. And when I say slight, I mean like, you might just want to go there for fun. But outside of that, I don't really see a point. So maybe this one will get 2. I think a 2 would be nice. This platform is a good platform. Because the thing is, you cannot reach this area without dash. And you have to like time it. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's weird for me. For some reason, I always seem to like get stuck on this platform somehow. So I think this one will get a 4.5. Again, take it with a little... Take this one specifically with a grain of salt because I just get annoyed by that one. These next platforms. They're just kind of there. Main purpose is to continue on. These platforms here, technically they're not really like a floating platform, so I don't want to consider them. However, I will still give them like a... Their main purpose is that you can continue along the way. So I don't think I'll be rating these ones because they're not like floating. And something that's important is that you can't go around it. I think that's an important distinction that we should make. Sure, it might be a little bit inconsistent in terms of platforms that I've already rated and platforms I will rate. But we have to understand that I'm trying to rank the floating ones, specifically the ones that provide platforming challenges. Or, you know, just platforming. Because this one, That's not a platform challenge. That's just a hop. All right. Now from here we have two different locations we can go. We can either go left or right, both of which lead to a very large open area. However, for speedrunning purposes and for, you know, me, I'm gonna go to the right first because this is the intended path. Now something like this is okay because we could go around it. It's not submerged in the acid. That is okay. All of these ones, they introduce you to a new enemy, I believe. Never mind, I don't know their names, but I do know they go wah. That's cool. These large ones, they're really just kind of there to introduce these new characters or enemies and allow you to have easy access past them over here. I think both of these should probably get a 6.5. I think that's about fair. These platforms down here, while yes, in a lot of speedruns, this is the preferred path because it is faster, the method of which I speedrun, I actually prefer the top route because I can get soul this way. And that's just a me thing. These platforms should probably get like a 7 at most. If you want to argue that they get like a 6 or even less, I think I could be convinced. But this is objectively like the fastest method to get through this. So I think for speedrunning purposes, I am okay with that. As we continue on, we have a very large platform right here. This platform doesn't really serve much purpose outside of you go here, you land on this little floating platform in the acid, and you continue along your way. Or you can go right around it. So I think this one, yeah, it's not bad. It's not terrible. Pure 7, not bad. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot this platform was there. I only saw it as I was thinking about this platform, and I noticed there was one here, and I was like, wait, how long has that been there? So I think because of that, I want to give it a 3.5. It was so forgettable, I didn't even notice I was still there. So I think it's well deserving of a 3.5, in my opinion. The next couple of platforms. These ones are actually kind of good. I want to give this one a 5, but I'll give this one a 5.5. The main reason is because as you continue on this way, you will hop down here, and you should be able to see this enemy to your left. This enemy is a new enemy that you will have to kind of deal with. He shoots a little explosion thing that if you touch it or if you hit it, it will explode, and you take 2 masks of damage. That's why I want to give it a 5.5, because it introduces you to this one. And it's like, oh, this is dangerous. I should probably take note of that. Like, instantly. I need to take care of this. This little platform here, it's okay. I think I'll give this one a 4, though. Just because you can reach up here. But if you don't have Mantis Claw, you obviously can't climb out. Which means if you don't have the Mantis Claw, you have to go here, up there. So, I guess, but it really doesn't serve much purpose outside of that. Likewise, these two platforms are simply just so you can get from one location to another. So these ones also will get a 5. Pure normal. And to the right, it's cut off a little bit, but this is just Elder Who. There's no platforms there. So we can just skip that little area and move on. Hi, Cloth. How you doing? This area in of itself, at least from my understanding, there's not actually a whole lot of floating platforms outside of this part right here. I will have to move the picture up. But in this area, there's not many platforms because a lot of them are being replaced by these things right here. These are, I guess, pogo-able mushrooms. You can bounce off them, basically. And they launch you really high up in the air if you pogo off it. So, I think this platform here will get a 5. But this platform will get a 5.5, as well as this one. Actually, no, this one will get a 6, because it's attached to one. I think that's kind of cool. The main reason why I want to give these ones a little bit higher is because it does introduce you to these ones and the locations and how to navigate throughout them. Sure, this might be the first location where you see it, as you enter in this way, but you immediately begin to understand, oh, I just have to pogo off them, and I bounce really high. The only issue is that not all of them are very great. Looks like I also skipped one here. This one, 5. Not important. But a lot of these are just kind of whatevers. Even these ones, honestly, I don't really see that big of an impact. So I'll give each of them 4.5. Mainly because, you know, they're just there if you're here so that you can climb out. But outside of that, there's really no purpose for them to be here if this whole entire little section was not there. So I think that'll be fair. Now, the intended purpose is not going to the right. It's actually continuing going down. Towards the right, there is the City of Tears. We'll get to this part a little bit later. But for now, we have to deal with what's below us. So I will shove everything up quite a bit. There we go. And we'll continue on in our little adventure. The moment you enter the next area, you will land on this platform here. I like this platform. This platform is wildly convenient. I'll give this one a 6.5. The main reason why I like this platform is because these two little mushroom boys are back. And you can see their behavior, and you don't actually land on the platform that they're walking on, so that you don't take damage. It's pretty thought out in that aspect. But I also like it because, you know, this is where the infamous E-Pogo skip occurs. And if you're not, you know, I guess if you're not me, and you are a very good speedrunner, you'll get it on your first try. But for me, who plays on current patch, who's not that great at the game, I need to collect soul. So these guys are convenient, as well as this person right here. So this platform is a pretty good platform for me. Likewise, there are technically 2 different platforms for this one, so we're not going to count that one. But I will count this one. I hate this platform. It's so annoying. This platform, in my regards, is going to get a 3. The main reason is because if you're climbing out of this area, right, you're going upwards. You pogo off this one, you land on here. You can't jump and then dash this way because you're too short. You don't reach there. So your natural thought, oh, I'll just pogo. If you pogo, you go right here. You don't have Mantis Claw yet. You can't climb here. You have to dash this way. It's kind of annoying. And even then, if you pogo off here, I'm pretty sure you can make this. So I think this platform really is just there to be in the way. And I don't like it. So I'm giving that one a 3. This platform here, I'm going to rate this one soon. But this platform here, this platform, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's 5. Nothing big, nothing new. This platform, this is the platform. Or at least for me it is. For most speedrunners, this is actually not that important of a platform. Well, sort of. It's important, but it's not as important for me. For most speedrunners, they will stand right at the edge of this, just so that this guy can shoot out his little explodey boy, go here, and then you will explosion pogo off it into the next area, thereby skipping the next area. However, for me, the way that I do it on current patch is that I have to use 3 fireballs. So I stand as close to the edge as possible, the little explosion comes close to me, I jump off, fireball to the right, dash, fireball to the left twice, pogo, sometimes get hit, and then move on. That's how I do it. So for me, this platform is everything. Without this platform, I would have to find a new way to do it that I'm not at all consistent in doing. I'm sure there's probably a much easier way to do E-Pogo for me. But until then, I will have to stick with this one. So for now, this platform here will get a 9. Now, can it easily go down depending on which patch you're using, how easy E-Pogo is on that patch, and which method you use it on? Yes. I think this platform could go, honestly, all the way down to a 4.5 or a 4, depending on how you play this game. It's just that at the point in time, for me, this is a very, very important platform and a very, very necessary one. So, take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure some people will do this much better than I can. If you manage to successfully e-pogo, you will end up in this area, this room right here. There's not many platforms here. In fact, there's only two. There's this tall boy right here, and there's the other tall boy here. Both of them are, they provide nice platforming movement. But that's only after you get the claw. Before you get the claw, you have no choice but to just jump down here and then continue on. So, really, they're just kind of there. I'll give both of them 5.5s, just for the sake that they are tall boys. And I think that's kind of cool. If you did not do e-pogo and you went the intended route, you will go this way, where you have to fight a new enemy called the mantises. There are two different types of mantises. There's the standing one, which lunges at you and may step back or step forward, and it will hit up if you are above it. The other type of mantis is the flying mantis. These ones are much smaller, and they will jab at you and hover around you if you get too close. Outside of that, this is the only platform in this, I guess, room. And this one, it's just kind of there. Like the other ones, I'm going to give this one a 5.5 just for the fact that it's a large one. And because this is lore. That's really the only purpose of it being there. And even then, without this platform, you can still reach up there because there's a pogoable thing right here. The little mushroom boys are there. So, it's just kind of there. I just like it. That's really about it. But as we continue on, there are more platforms. This one is another big one. Another big boy. However, now we are getting to the realm of things are getting more difficult because there's now more enemies. So this one, I think is going to get a 5 because it is a little bit difficult to navigate around it. And this one, this is a safe space. If this is your first time playing, this little platform right here is going to be your savior. This platform is going to get a 7. It keeps you safe from this person. It's very good. These two platforms also, a lot of these platforms now are actually going to enter the realm of 6s because these are necessary platforms. Unlike before, when we give, 5s to just whatever platforms to go from point A to point B, these ones are now more important because you now need the Mantis Claw to properly maneuver around them. The other parts, not as much. But this is where we need to go. So those ones will get a 6. This one will get a 6. And these ones, I actually want to give these ones a 5 each. Mainly because it's actually kind of difficult to maneuver around these ones. More often than not, you will just fall here, miss a dash, or get curious and then end up down here anyways with this mantis that, if you're not prepared, can screw you over. Because if you get hit and you fall into the acid, you automatically lose 2 masks. So it's a little bit unforgiving. So I'm going to give these ones a 5. And obviously this one is suspended in acid, so we can't really rank this one by itself. This platform, this one's just a 5. It's just necessary to climb out. And that's it. Oops. As we move along, let's see. This part is kind of optional. There's really no, I guess, benefit in doing this other than getting the best girl in the game, Bretta, and getting Dash Master. Outside of that, this is completely like an empty area. There's 2 platforms here, both of which are going to get 5s because they're just kind of there so they can get out. But that's about it. In here, there are... that doesn't count as a platform. This does not count as a platform. But this one does. This one does count as a platform. However, unfortunately, for this platform's sake, it might as well be almost completely useless. All we really needed was this little bit right here. I drew that terribly. This little area right here, that's all that we actually need. Because if you have the Mantis Claw, you will climb up here. You will jump off, dash to get here, dash here, after sliding down, and you climb up. And then you will climb up here, dash over there. This entire walkable surface here is honestly actually really bad. And the main reason is because of the Explodey Boy. If you immediately see him, and your natural instinct in this game, you know, is to attack something, to jump at something, and you attack him while he's spitting out his explosion, you will get hit, and you will lose 2 max of damage. This is a brutal platform. I want to give this one a 3. It can be really annoying. All we really needed was this little wall here so that we can slide down and then dash again. It's kind of brutal. I'm not gonna lie. And that's that area. We now need to climb back out through the actual intended path. Back over here, we continue into the Mantis Village. What's up, Coral? Alright, this is now the Mantis Village area. If you did E-Pogo successfully, you will drop down into it. If you did not do E-Pogo and you're a normal person, you will enter from this area. Regardless though, there are now going to be quite a bit of platforms. However, not all of them are individual platforms. This big one here shares it with 2 others. So unfortunately we cannot count that one, but the next one we can count. This one right here. This, oops, I don't know what I accidentally undid, but I'm going to redo that. So this platform here is pretty good. I like it. This one's going to get a 6. If you drop down from E-Pogo, this is like the first actual floating platform that you will land on, and it's also kind of important. This one will earn a 5 because it's simply there so that you can climb up here, climb up there, climb up here, and then make your way over here to get the Mantis Claw at long last. And now that you have Mantis Claw, floating platforms are more of a recommendation, because now you can just jump off walls. And yada yada yada. So now looking at those ones, I will not be counting this one as an individual floating platform because it's surrounded by spikes. If it was floating, I would. Like this one. The main purpose of this one is simply, as you enter this area, you dash here, and then you dash here, and you climb up and around it. That's mainly teaching you how to use the Mantis Claw effectively. So this is now like the tutorial. I will give this one a 7 because of that. Actually, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Because it teaches you, it's time to start doing things properly. And once you make your way through, you hit this switch, you hit the lever. This giant thing opens up, taking the mantis with it, which is actually really funny because it does count as killing the mantis if you did not kill it. And you'll be entered into the next area. This area has a lot of platforms. There's going to be quite a bit. A lot of them are going to be a little bit weird, but by golly, we're going to do it. So, I guess starting off with the first stuff, this big platform. This is one individual platform. This platform can be a little, let's just say, odd. And you might have guessed it, it's because there are spikes. This platform is a little bit mean. It can be a little bit hard. If you're not prepared, you will go down here, fall in the spikes. And if you're not careful enough, you'll jump again and land in the spikes again. But if you're trying to be very careful, you will dash out this way. Likewise on the other side. If you're not careful, spikes. Even if you're careful and you miss, spikes, or dash into the spikes. So this one really starts to tell you, hey, you need to get good at this game. However, that's what this game kind of is. It's not that forgiving. So I think this one will actually get an 8. It's teaching you almost like trial by fire. You need to get good at this, otherwise you're not going to have a good time playing this game. And this one right here is a kind of like a safe space. I'm going to give this one a 6 because it's a safe space. You go here and you think, okay, what is the next challenge awaiting for me down here? And that's just it. There's a lot more challenges just like that. This one here, I think is going to get a 5. It's honestly not that important. It's kind of more annoying, if anything. The main purpose is that you can either go here, or vice versa, or climb out of it. That's really just the whole purpose of that one. However, this platform here, I like this platform. And the main reason is because the intended route is that you pogo or dash, you climb up here, you go here, up there, and around. That's the intended version. However, for us speedrunners, we just climb straight up. You can jump and start pogoing off these little things, and immediately just start going it this way. So you really skip going around. I like this one. This one gets 7. Unfortunately, this one will not be counted because there's a walkable surface here and that tiny bit up there. So unfortunately, I will not be counting that one. As you continue through, here's another floating platform. This one is honestly kind of hard. I want to give this one a 5.5. And the main purpose is because if you jump here, you'll quickly realize, oh, I can either land on that one, or most of the times you'll jump straight down the center and you'll miss it, try to hug this one, and then land on here. So I don't want to rate it too high, but I want to appreciate it because it tells you you need to be careful about your surroundings. And therefore, I want to give it at least like a 4.5. So meeting somewhere-ish in the middle, I think a 5.5 is understandable. Once you go past there, there's another one here that kind of does the same purpose. So this one will also get a 5.5. As you continue on, there's not really much out here. There's a little bit more up there, but for the time being, this is where it ends. And then you have your Mantis fight, which not only has the best theme, I guess best OST, probably one of the coolest fights too. I like this one. Once you beat the Mantis Lords, you will be, I guess you should, head to this area to the right. Obviously, the area to the left, the part that they're guarding this door, this is Deep Nest. We're not doing that yet. So we can continue going this way. This area actually has no platforms. So we can basically just skip it. However, I do want to point out that you want to go here because I believe this is a Hollowness Seal. This is Mark of Pride. And this is 655 Geo. I think. If memory serves me correct. And also bench. The brutal part is that you can't access this bench until you beat them. Because if you go and try to get here early without beating the Mantis Lords, this guy will close it. There's a little switch right here that he'll hit and will block you off. So make sure that you beat the Mantis Lords. That is the Mantis Village. We will now head back. Back to... Let's see. Where else have we yet to go? There's not a whole lot left. But I think a good starting point would be... Well, remember when we branched off towards the start of the area? Let's go ahead and do that next. Which is actually all the way up here. This part right here, you actually cannot get to without Isma's Tear. That's a much later game item / ability. You will get the item, you can go here, and you will continue on. However, if I'm not mistaken, there are no floating platforms, technically, except for this guy. This is the only, walkable surface outside of the one all the way at the top. Everything else is the bouncy mushroom boys. So, I'm not going to rate this one. If anything, I'm just going to call this a P out of 10 for platforming. For the pogos. That's really about it. I just wanted to say that. But the real split happens right here, when we go left or to the right. And now we're going to go to the left. This is the Shroomel Ogre Arena. You will, by defeating these guys, you will receive a Charm Notch. But not just a Charm Notch. This is the most special Charm Notch in the game. Because once you receive the Charm Notch that drops straight down here upon defeating both of these Shroomel Ogres, it will fully heal you. We don't know why. I'm not even sure why. But picking it up will heal all of your masks. So don't feel as if I need to stay alive. If you're on one mask left, and you beat them, that is good enough. So feel a little bit reckless. Be a little bit headstrong and just charge right in. But there is a platform here. Oh, never mind. It's ledges. These are ledges. No platforms. Alright. Once you go there, you'll be going down here. Technically, this is not the quote-unquote right entrance. You're supposed to enter from below. I think. Nope, maybe not. Why did I think that? Well, I thought that because there's a switch here that opens a door right here, which makes me think you're supposed to go this way, and then you realize you have to go this way to go around. I'm not really sure. But mainly, this is kind of like the intended location. There is only two floating platforms in this part. There's this guy, and there's this one. This one, unfortunately, has 2 different levels, so that's not an individual platform. I think this one gets a 5. It's just there to progress. This one, I actually kind of think is completely unnecessary. I think I would look nicer without it. I'm going to give that one, actually, no, 4 I think is too high. 2.5 sounds about right. Because the thing is, it has a little mushroom dude, 2 mushroom dudes, and then 1 enemy. But that's it. If it didn't have it, I feel like it would feel more open and more of what the Fungal Waste actually should be. So I think, not a good platform. This platform, likewise, is just a 5. It's only needed to go and progress. That's about it. And if you have the Mantis Claw, it's completely optional. You can jump however you want. This platform, it's okay. I'll give it a 6. Mainly because this guy is here to annoy you while you try to get this Geo Rock. That's really about it. There's nothing amazing. Nothing really for it either. So I think it's just gonna sit at a 6. At this point in time, make sure that you take a sip of water as well. I am talking, I don't even know how many hours per day. But make sure to hydrate yourself as well. Anyways, moving on. Most of these ones, again, are going to be 5s. They're... Actually, no. These ones, except for this one, I think should be a family of 6s. And the main reason is because, if you've noticed, there are mushroom guys around the area that will, spawn the explosions. And if you're not careful... sorry, my nose is itchy. If you're not careful, you can get caught up in them, lose 2 masks of damage, potentially fall and miss every single platform and land in the acid, therefore allowing you to lose a total of 3 masks total. So there's also that. And likewise, these ones are not really floating platforms because they are submerged. I will not be ranking those ones either. If you are curious though, there is some lore here, and I believe a Wanderer's Journal there. Let's see, where else have we not been? I think this is just kind of like the main next area. Yep. Now that we're in this area is pretty good. Kind of. These ones are nice. I actually am going to give this one a 4 because of its false... I almost said false deception, but that's not quite right. Because of the deception it creates. This guy, the pillbug looking dude, he actually creates a large, puff of damage. It's like the guy that shoots off like spore shroom. However, if you're not careful, he actually does reach above the platform. So just because you're safe and you think, haha, you're out of range, I will continue to move forward, and you get hit by it. So it's a little bit deceiving, which is why I want to give this one a 4. This one will be a 5. Likewise, this one will be a 5. This one is a 5. Its only purpose is so that you can get up here. And this area. Oh boy, this area. This one gets a 5. This one gets a 5. This one gets a 5. This one gets a 4. This one gets a 5. This one gets a 4. The placements of these platforms are very particular because of the placements of the mushroom explodey boys is also very particular. Again, if you fail, let's say you get hit by this guy all the way at the top. There's a chance you get hit, you lose 2 masks of damage, you miss the platforms and you panic, you fall all the way down here, you take fall damage, and there's a chance you might get hit by another explosion, losing you a total of 4 masks. At this point in time, you probably only have 5, which means 1 more hit and I die. So this place can be a little bit difficult, and really the only thing up here, I believe, is a, I think it's a, not a Hollowness seal. Not a Wanderer's Turtle. There's one in the middle, I think. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what this one is, but it's just kind of a reward. That's about it. This platform down here, that's a 5. It's only so that you can go back up. If you go down, it's not really mandatory, but it's just kind of there. This platform here, 5.5. It's helpful to get from here to here, and vice versa, as well as climb out. But outside of that, it's not that important. This one right here, it is not completely submerged in acid. It is technically floating, so I think this one will get a 6. There is another entrance this way from Queen Station, from Fog Canyon, and so this would be the first platform you see, as well as this being the first enemy you see. So if you noticed, no matter which way you enter this area, you will still see the same enemy first. I like that. Let's see, where else did we go? Oh, you know what? I just realized. I think I skipped over the exit. Yeah, that one. I'll do that one last. I think that would be interesting. I think that one should be last. Continuing down this way. This is a very common route for me, and the main reason is because this is I guess one of the first locations where you find Mr. Mushroom. He's required for one of the hidden endings. I think for Mr. Mushroom ending, I think I'm 6th place. I could have changed to become like 8th place now, but I don't know. But I hold that with pride because you do have to basically beat the entire game in order to see Mr. Mushroom. So I know this place very well. These platforms, however, they're not that important. By now, you should have the Mantis Claw, so now they're more of a recommendation, if anything. And it's just kind of there. I don't think there's a platform here, but there's one platform here. This platform, it's a 5. It's so that you can pogo into there, vice versa. Nothing real exciting. If I were to go to the right, actually you can't even go to the right because I need to go to the left in order to access this area, because there's a door here that is only accessible by that switch. So you have to come from the left, hit the switch to leave out that way, and then you can go to the right. Unfortunately, I don't think there's actually a single floating platform in this part of the area, so there's nothing we can do about this. So unfortunately, yeah, this whole this whole chunk of area completely dead. No floating platforms in sight, which makes me a little bit sad. However, there are more. This area, I like this platform a little bit. That's a 5, but I want to give this one a 6. The main reason is because this is another speedrun location. To enter Deep Nest quickly, you will go down here, you jump off here, because if you dash, right, you will actually end up hitting like the ceiling here and just dropping, and it's a little bit risky. So usually, you can short hop, then dash, or you can just simply stand down here, which is why I want to give this one a 6, because I believe if you fall into the acid, this is where you'll respawn, or you'll respawn down here. So you have one of two things. You will jump off him, dash, head over there. You will jump, dash, pogo. You have to pogo twice, and then dash. Because if you pogo once, you actually will not make it, and you will end up falling down here. But if you just pogo twice, you'll basically keep your same height, and you will continue on. So it's faster to pogo twice as opposed to pogoing once, falling, and then climbing back up. This is the route towards Deep Nest. However, there's a little bit more in Fungal Wastes I want to, finish up. So these will get a 5 just because they're kind of there. This whole other area that we haven't talked about is the other part of the Mantis Village. Let me pull this up some. Because yes, there is a little bit more. Not much, but a little bit more. So I'll get to that one next. However, this area, there's not many floating platforms at all. And the main reason is because there's this one up here, whose sole purpose is to be annoyed by this guy, another explosion boy, so that you can jump, dash, for some juicy, delicious lore. That's it. So honestly, this one, I think gets a 3.5. I want to give it a 3, but because it leads you to lore, which some people very much, love, myself kind of included, I'll bump it up to a 3.5. The reason why there's not any more platforms because everything else is either a bouncy boy or submerged in acid. Like these guys. That's really about it. I do like these platforms though. These ones provide some nice challenges because you have to jump off, dash, land on here, but you have to time your dash because if you don't, you might end up falling backwards into the spikes, and then you dash over here. But if you just jump fully, I think you actually hit these spikes and just end up losing damage. So you jump here, you go here. This one is also really confusing because I think if you stand all the way over here, like the very edge of this platform, I think you can dash, drop a little bit, and then dash again. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't tried it. But my method has always been, okay, I'll just jump here, slide down a little bit, jump, and then dash. That's always been a little bit more consistent and much safer. And then you get Spore Shroom. I also like this kind of area because if you didn't know, if you just jump straight into the thorns, the check to respawn here is actually right about here. So if you stand right here, pick up Spore Shroom, and just jump, you will actually respawn. I think it's up here, which is really nice. But if not, and you don't know about it, you just climb out this way, you break this door, and you leave. But that's about it. I just like this area. If you go over here, there's technically 2 different exits. There's one towards Deep Nest, and the only way to access that one is you walk over it, you realize you forgot something, you will start to walk back, and then you'll fall. The floor will collapse. But only once you walk over it once, and then walk back. The other exit is over here. I believe this is... Actually, I don't even know. What is this? What is that towards? That is towards the Moss Prophet. However, that's part of... What is it called? Queen's Gardens, so we will not be exploring that area. And once you're in Deep Nest, you can actually exit back this way. It is one of the faster methods, but most people don't use it. Alright. Now for the big area. This part. This one might be the most tedious part, because there are quite a bit of platforms here. So, let's start. From the Mantis Village, if you climb back out via the E-Pogo route, there is one area to the left. However, this area is actually kind of blocked off. You need the double jump ability, the Monarch Wings, because this is a one-sided breakable wall that you can only go through from this direction. So you need double jump to access this area to move forward. A lot of these ones are not only very, very large, the big Chungus platforms, but they don't really provide any challenge other than having an enemy on top. So really, this entire area could be summed up in like 5. But we're gonna see if there's any platforms that really deserve less or more than a 5. So this one right here, this is a 5. The 2 platforms over here, again, are a 5. The platform that this guy is standing on, a 5. It's kind of lackluster in this area, I will be completely honest. Once you go over here, it's kind of hard to tell with this map, but I don't think this is an individual platform. I'm pretty certain because it's connected to this one. Well, there. So I believe this is not an individual platform. So we're going to skip that one and move on. Right here, the moment you drop down here, you can land on this platform. This platform is really the only, like, normal safe space. So I'm going to give this one a 5.5. Because if you notice, the moment we drop, it is bouncy boy mushrooms and these little annoying floating enemies. You are bound to hit one of them along your way. Because they don't just sit there. They don't just float there purposefully. Or, I guess, not purposefully. They will float there and move ever so slightly left or right. And will inevitably get in your way. So that's that. But outside of that, there's really no more platforms that I can see. It looks like this one counts as one. It's shaped very, very strangely, but I'm pretty sure that's one platform. Right? It looks like it goes up here and just kind of goes straight across. I'm pretty sure that's one platform. If that is the case, I actually want to give this one a 6. There's an enemy, it's long, it has little bouncy boys. Yeah, I like it. And since you do have the double jump ability, because you need it to gain access to this area, you can jump up here for some sweet money. This platform here, in my opinion, kind of pointless. I'm gonna give this one a 4. It's just kind of there. This one will get a 5. It's just kind of there as well. But it's nice because, you know, that. And it has an enemy on top. I don't remember what this guy is for. I think he's just there for lore purposes, and that's about it. And then we have the other big, long platform right beneath the other big platform. This one, 6. I think that's fair. And then right below us is actually the secondary, I guess technically the third entrance into Deep Nest, and will actually give you a mask shard. So it is very worth coming down here. I just realized there's one here that I skipped. This one. That's a 5. But yeah, if you go down this way, you will get yourself a mask shard. Very worth coming down this area. Other than that... Oh, shoot, I just realized I skipped this big chunk of a platform. How could I? This platform? It's... I don't know, it's just kind of there. I feel bad, because everything in this area so far has been pretty lackluster. So I'll be a little bit generous. I'll give this one a little half point extra. Good for you. But I don't see it getting any higher. This entire area is just kind of like platforming with Mantis Claw. The location. That's basically Fungal Wastes. It's okay. And I think that should be everywhere in this entire area, except for the entrance towards the City of Tears. This is the last area. So obviously, we've already done this area, and down here, this is where E-Pogo is located. However, Hornet is standing right here, and you can actually chase her down going this way. This is the next intended area of the game. Once you go to the right, you are greeted with some platforming. Everyone's favorite part of this game, because it's really the most important part about this game. This area, you have to traverse through some platforming, but the thing is, you have to have the Mantis Claw first. So you go down, you get the Mantis Claw, you climb out, and then you go this way. And then you will progress forwards. The issue all the way at the end is that you need to make sure that you do have the city crest, who the false knight possesses. If you did not defeat the false knight, you have to go back, you have to defeat him, you have to make your way all the way back here, put the thing in the spot, and then you can continue. Without it, well, you're stuck. But this area does have some platforms. Unfortunately, the first little segment, this part, has no individual platforms. So unfortunately, we cannot, judge it. Now, you might be thinking, well, this one technically has two, separated by thorns. So I'm going to say no. And up here, some soul. Well-earned soul. However, this is a platform. This is half wall, half platform, half thorns. This one actually can be a little bit annoying. I want to give this one a 4.5. But this one, this circle thorn looking one, technically, it does count as a platform. You could walk on it if the thorns weren't there. This one I want to rate. Specifically, this one I'm going to give a... from a common perspective, I want to give this one a 3. But from a challenge location, I want to give this one a 7. So I'll do 3,7. Because for an ordinary person, this one is so annoying. That's why I'm giving it a 3. You jump off here, you have to time it so that you dash through. But if you're unused to this game, this is brutal. Because you can just land on it. Despite the fact that this is already a skinny enough location that if you start going to the right too early, you'll hit here. If you don't leap off correct, you can just hit this part. And if you time it too late, you hit this guy. But from a challenge perspective, the part that makes this hard is actually really ingenious and really clever. It's placed there purposefully so that you can mess up. Which is why I want to give it a 3 or a 7, depending on how you see it. Unlike this one, which is a lot nicer, the moment you get past it, you just climb up, but you don't climb up too fast, because you can hit this thorn part, and then you just jump off here, go there. This one is not bad, but it's still not the best. I am going to give this one 5.5. That's really all that I can justify giving it. And these ones, they're just 5s. The moment you hit this switch and this switch, the bridge appears, and yeah, all the platforming segment is done. That's really about it. And then you will earn your access into City of Tears. Okay. I think that is everything, actually. I think that's all of the floating platforms in the Fungal Wastes. I'm running very low on water. I might need to get some more soon. But that's okay, because technically that's everything. Right? We've already done everything. That is all of Fungal Wastes. Not bad. Not bad at all. And so, I think, yeah, that's it. That's good. I like it. Fungal Waste is always like a nice place to, maneuver and just be. It's pretty nice. I like this place. It's the only issue I have with this place is that there's not many things in this area. It's just a lot of rooms and lore and moving around. Let's be real. The only significant locations in this place is the Mantis Lords, Pogo, and by proxy, I guess Mantis Claw, and then the entrance to Deep Nest. There are a couple of grubs just scattered around, but outside of that, this area doesn't have a whole lot. It has Breda, yes. Breda is very important. I don't want to discredit, or I don't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to make light of Breda. Breda's very cool. One of the very few waifus of this game. So I do want to specify that part, but there's not really much to this area. It's just kind of yeah, it's just kind of there. So, I don't know. If I were to give this one as a rating in the end, I would probably say that Fungal Wastes maybe gets like a 6.5 in the end. Very, very few lackluster platforms, but also very few, like, amazing, simply, like, fabulous platforms as well. So it's just kind of nice. That's to put it lightly. And I think that should be everything. Wrapping it all up. It's a good place. Lots of interesting skips, lots of good platforms. Couple of bad ones, but that's personal preference. And that is Fungal Wastes. I will probably be doing another one, hopefully, next week, on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, as usual. And, yeah, if there's one that you want me to do next, leave a comment. Tell me which one you want to see next, out of the ones that I've already done. And, yeah, I've been Facade. I hope you have a good rest of your day, or your night, depending on when you're watching this. I will see you in the next one. Good night.